Well, hey guys, welcome to another installment of 3 Generation Gaming, brought to you by Carrier Strike Group 3 and members of that organization. For this video in reference to mining, 3.5 is out. I am a subscriber. I did a couple of days ago, went into 3.5 PTU, tried it out. I've got to do a lot more experimentation with 3.5. The new flight model is it's going to take some getting used to. I should have done a little more research before I went into it because I could not use my HOTUS. Got a little frustrated with it. Went ahead and had my information taken off the test servers, and I reverted back to 3.4.3 for the purposes of this video. Future videos, obviously, in a week, 3.5 is going to be out. So I'm going to be left with no choice, and we'll see how it goes from there. There's just a lot to learn with the new flight model, and anybody that's played this game for a while knows that you have to reset up all your key bindings, and there's a lot of new key bindings in there. I did find a helpful video from another YouTuber, and I will give him his kudos, and I will post a link below. He did a pretty good job explaining how to set up the HOTUS and showed some of the new stuff in there, and I will post a link below for anybody that's interested in taking a look at a short video on the 3.5 setup. So I'm also going to do something a little different since 3.5 is coming. I've posted separate videos on mining some of the other moons. Hurston's a little bit different. Hurston has 4 mineable moons here. Each one of them is very unique, very different flying experience, very different mining experience. I do not want to bore you guys with 4 separate videos. I could do it, it's no problem. I fly them all the time. However, I thought for time's sake what I would do is crunch all of Hurston's moons into this one video. So what we're going to do is we're going to kind of do an abbreviated mining mission here. We are going to go, and I am going to show you guys each and every moon, and I will give you a little brief synopsis of those moons and what I think of each one. So we're going to go ahead and grab our ship and get launched. I'll be right back. Alright, just like magic, we've arrived. So the first moon we're going to is Ariel. Ariel is the closest moon to Hurston when leaving Hurston. Ariel's interesting in the fact that it is super yellow. When you come in on the sun side, it almost looks like you're flying into a sun. Ariel has a very thin atmosphere. It also has some interesting minerals. You can find bexolite, hephaestionite, and quartz down there. Bexolite and hephaestionite are 2 of the better ones to find. You won't find them in, well, I shouldn't say that. You won't find them in great abundance, but you do find them in some abundance down here. It's not like Daymar, where you can find some boulders that have a lot of laranite or titanium, but you find them, a lot of them down here. Now the other thing that's interesting, and I'll show you when we get down to the surface so you can see what the surface of this looks like. The other thing that's interesting is I think the surface is actually quite soft. I think the way that the moon, the way that they designed this moon is to have a very soft surface. It's apparently very hot down there too. The reason I tell you that it's a soft surface is because every single rock or boulder that I've mined down here, about, I'd say 30 to 45% of it has been buried under the ground. So it'll look like you've gotten everything off the surface. When you turn on your mining radar and you look at it, you'll see that there's still pieces to get. So we'll get down to the surface, and I'll give you guys a quick overview. Alright, so one of the things you should know about when you're coming down here to mine is that the altitude kicks in at about 20,000 feet. Not a whole lot of re-entry there, so this is another one of those where you're going to want to be kind of careful coming in. Don't just afterburn all the way down to the surface because it comes up pretty quick. So we'll get down here, and hopefully this will do like it's done before for me, and that when you get down here you'll see just how quickly you'll start picking things up on your mining radar. You can see that it's a very hot surface. It's got a lot of haze. We're coming in on the morning side, so we got the sun facing us. So we'll scoot down here and get close. A lot of heat distortion when you're looking at it. So we'll come down, get a little closer. And it looks pretty good to me. Switch to our mining radar. And there we go. They're all popping up all over the place. The other thing that and I don't know whether it's because they built Hurston after, Hurston was the last thing that came up in before 3.5 did. But the rocks down here have a tendency to read much better. So we'll just pick one and head over here and take a look. There's a lot to pick from here. Fairly smooth surface, doesn't have a whole lot of mountains or anything for you to have to navigate. Let's see, we'll see if we can pick this one up. So one of the things I was going to tell you guys, 3.5 that's coming, they've done a lot of rework with the radar, the Misc Prospector itself. I saw that they've done some work with the mining in that they've tried to get rid of this whole rock blinking, like there it just blinked for me. So let's see what we got going on here. So that's a pretty good one right there, 5.89% Hurstonite. So yeah, it's got some stuff to mine. So we'll get down here a little bit closer, give you guys a reading on this rock. Some of them will have 3 and 4 minerals in them, and they don't seem to be quite as hard to mine as they are on some of the other moons. So we'll switch over, get a look-see. As you can see, instability 0.49, resistance 0.41. Pretty easy one to take apart. When you get out in the asteroid belt, if you watched my previous video, some of those are really tough. You'll get instability, 5.0, you'll get resistance, 2.0. Super hard to work with. So roll my shields all the way forward just in case, and we'll see what we can get out of this. Okay, one of the other things that happens here, and I don't know if it's because the minerals are buried or half buried, these don't come apart unless you really hit them hard, and that's dangerous. They don't really fly apart, so you spend a lot of time either getting rid of empty rocks or so there's 4% Hurstonite in that top one. Let's see what we got over here. 6.27.
Scan complete.
That one still needs to be broke.
Scan complete.
So
Extraction mode on.
for the purposes of this, I'll grab a little of this.
Scan complete.
just so I don't go home empty-handed, because when we're done here, we'll jump off to another moon. And at points during this video, I will fast forward so that you guys aren't bored senseless watching me do this. One of the other things I should point out, because of the color of this surface, let's see here. So if you notice the color of the surface, it's kind of red, and when you get really in the bright sunlight, the mining radar for the laser, the green section where you want to keep your laser power, it has a tendency to kind of disappear into the background. It's really quite hard to see. So this gives you an idea. So you can see there's just marks everywhere. I wish this moon was closer to an area where you could actually sell your stuff a little bit faster. Flying back to Hurston from here is such a pain. Alright, so that gives you kind of a little overview. There isn't much else to talk about when it comes to Ariel. It's just really desolate, very flat, and what you see is what you see. But lots of stuff to mine down here, guys. Lots of stuff. You'll get stuff everywhere, just stacked on top of one another. Alright, so let's cruise out of atmosphere and get to the next one. Okay, so the next moon in the Hurston system that we're going to visit is Aberdeen. Aberdeen is interesting in that when you quantum into this, the first thing you're going to face is this giant debris field. I honestly have not done any research. I don't know what it is. I think it was a space station that may have been attached to a meteorite, or not a meteorite, an asteroid. Sorry, and it looks like it's destroyed. I've flown around it. You got to be careful. The stuff in there will damage your ship. I found that out the hard way. But it is kind of cool to fly around in there, and those chunks of rock you see up there are actually huge. I played around one day and actually landed on one. Wasn't brave enough to get out of my ship standing on it though. So, but anyway, this is Aberdeen. Aberdeen is second farthest from Hurston. You'll find bexylite here, you'll find corundum, hefstonite, diamond, titanium, gold, beryl. Another hot moon, another very bright moon. So what we're going to do is we'll head down to the surface, and I'll give you guys a look-see like we did with Ariel, and I'll give you my thoughts. Alright, so here we are approaching the surface of Aberdeen, and you can see it's very hazy down here. The re-entry point and your altimeter kicks in at about 15,000, so be aware of that. Another very unique surface down here. So let's start backing off a little bit. And as you can see, very, very strange, hazy surface down here. So drop down a little bit. And you see my current altitude says that I am at 1,500 meters. But does that look like 1,500 meters to you guys? Yeah, me either. So that's one of the issues. Don't always trust that thing, because it's not always accurate, and you'll find yourself flying right into the surface. So let's take a look here. The flashing is apparently lightning and stuff around the surface. So take a look out here, see what we find.
Caution, front collision.
Yeah. Not my favorite place to mine. Very difficult, very hard to find stuff here. And of course, you know, the way I came into it, I'm actually on the night side, so find myself chasing the sun. and it drops fairly fast here. And there, we picked one up somewhere off in this direction, it looked like. So you can see why it's not my favorite place to mine. Difficult. Seems to be a lot of interference with the radar on the surface of this moon. It's a little easier if you end up in the day side of it, but even there it's quite hazy. Looks like we went right by one. Let's take a look. They're far and few between here, guys. But in my experience, when you do find stuff, they can be quite lucrative. I don't know if the game was designed that way or what, but all right, let's take a look here. No, don't overshoot it. Let's just turn, whoa. Get ourselves oriented right. Alright, here we go. Get some light on the subject. Barrel, corundum, Hurstonite, and we'll give you an idea of what you're looking at. They're a little bit tougher here than they were on Ariel. See if we can get it to give us a good reading. Yeah, you can see 1.74 instability, 0.57 resistance. So not too bad. Probably not one that I would do. And I'm sorry I brought you guys in on the twilight side, but this is one of those moons that turns fairly fast. So when you come into this moon, if the sun's over your right shoulder, you want to go to the right, get to the right side of it. That's the daytime side. For time's sake, I just came in on this side, which I knew it was going to get dark quick, but it's kind of spectacular. I mean, it's a little on the spooky side, but all right. So we are going to leave this spooky moon and take you guys out of here. Okay, so the next place I brought you to in the Hurston system is Ida. Ida is the fourth moon. It's the fourth ring. If you're looking at your star map, it's the farthest one away from Hurston. The reason I didn't go 1, 2, 3, 4 is because this one was a little bit closer than Magda was, so I'm bringing you here. Plus, this is actually my favorite moon of all the moons to mine in the Hurston system. It's beautiful, it's challenging, but the greatest thing about Ida, it has agricium, aluminum, beryl, copper, diamond, gold, quartz, titanium, tungsten. Okay, some of those not worth a ton, but some of them are worth quite a bit. I've had really good luck mining down here. The daytime side of this, if the sun's over your right shoulder, I believe it's right. Yes, right side. Don't quote me on that. I could be wrong. Somebody pointed out to me the other day that I kept talking left, right, when you're approaching one of these moons, and they brought up a good point. I think it depends on how your ship's oriented, but I always just kind of pay attention to where it is in relationship to the horizon. So, but for the sake of this video, I'll take you guys down to the surface, get a look at this place. Like I said, my favorite place to actually and go and do some mining.
50%.
Hopefully we don't run out of quantum fuel during all this. All right, guys. I'll see you on the surface. All right, so we're coming down to the surface of Ida and making a slow approach. Your altimeter will kick in here around 18,000. And you can see very beautiful. Oh, there is no re-entry. There's no atmosphere here, so you're not going to get any kind of a re-entry warning or anything. Kind of flat and mountainous in parts. Kind of reminds me a little bit of Daymar, different coloring, but quite spectacular and fun, bright, clean, clear. There are some spires, as you can see, that stick out of the ground. Try not to wrap your ship around one of them. They do make it challenging when you're sliding around down here. So let's slow down. We'll get down to about here. Switch out. See if we get lucky on the first time. Nope, nothing yet. And there we go. So they are abundant down here, more so than on Daymar. Definitely more so than on Aberdeen. And hopefully the game doesn't crash on me because it's getting kind of jerky. And because we're still in 343, we'll see if we can get the rock to blank. There we go. Got the blank. There we go. And she's going to read for us. Oh, there you go. That's a winner right there, full of quartz. So I know there's a couple more over in this area. There's one. Easy to spot the ones that you're looking for too. They kind of stand out like they do on Daymar and a couple of the other moons. And we'll take a look at this one real quick. And before I run out of hydrogen fuel, we'll jump over to the one remaining moon of Magda and give you guys a look at that. Come on, buddy. You got a blank for me? Boy, I can't wait till they fix this. Supposedly in 3.5 this is fixed, and like I said earlier, I have not had a chance to test that theory because the new flight model was just, I don't know, it was very glitchy. You know, you lose all your key bindings, and I just got frustrated with it and decided to wait until they actually get it worked out elsewhere. Well, we are having some issues now, aren't we? Ah, there we go. Come on, buddy. Well, let's just hit it with a mining radar or laser.
Mining mode on.
Some Igrikium, some barrel. That gives you an idea what you're looking at down here. Like I said, this is probably in the Hurston system. This is my
Fuel at 50%.
favorite one to fly. There we go. There's a couple more marking over there. Alright, so yeah, pretty much the whole moon looks like this. Like I said, be careful of those spires when you're flying around. I have strafed sideways, not been paying attention, and banged into a couple of them. But yeah, it's an interesting place. All right, so I'll take you guys from here, and we will head off. Okay, so we have arrived at Magda. Magda is the third moon in the Hurston system. Really, really nice to look at. I've had some pretty good luck mining down here. interesting surface. It's different than a lot of the other ones, color-wise, texturally wise. In some of the areas, it seems to be a lot different too. But at Magda, you will find agricium, aluminum barrel, diamond, tungsten. Nothing really to call home about. I have had probably my best luck finding agricium actually on this moon. But again, Hurston system is such a pain. I really, really wish CIG would put places in some of the truck stops, or maybe even on the surface of the moon at some of the mining depots, where you could actually take your minerals and sell them to make it a little bit more, I don't know, make your time a little bit more worthwhile. The Hurston system right now is just not the greatest place to go mining, just because of the distance and travel and everything else. I enjoy it because I enjoy mining, and I spend a lot of time, as long as my hydrogen fuel will allow me, I spend a lot of time on some of the moons here. Just, it's like fishing. We're waiting to catch that big one, and once in a while you do. I got one boulder off of Magda a couple of times ago that I was here, and a couple of the pieces were over 190 kilograms, and they were 100% agricium. I think that was probably one of my better trips in the Hurston system when I went to sell my minerals. I think I ended up with somewhere at around 22,000 UEC for that trip, which in retrospect, that's not bad. It's not bad. It's just the turnaround time. The turnaround time can be kind of a pain. But it's enjoyable. It truly is enjoyable. By the way, I failed to mention, I hope you guys like the new opening to my videos. Put a little work into that. And the closing is different than I've had before too. I'm starting to learn how to do this a little bit better. And as I've said in previous videos, I'm not looking to get hundreds of thousands of YouTube. I doubt if I'm ever going to get hundreds of thousands of YouTube followers. I want the people that are coming to my channel to be those people that are looking to mine and do some other fun stuff in here. My channel is going to have a lot to do in future episodes with our organization, Carrier Strike Group 3. A lot of great people over there, and we want to use the videos to kind of showcase what we're all about. And if you're looking to be a pirate, yeah, we're not going to be the organization for you. We definitely are not into piracy. We do want to build a great organization of very hardworking, honest people that just want to have fun gaming together. So anyway, enough on my soapbox. As you can see, very beautiful moon, and I'm going to get you guys down to the surface and show you around a little bit. Just like magic, here we are down at Magda. So your altimeter will kick in right around 20,000 with Magda. There is a small atmosphere, so you'll get a little re-entry burn coming in. A lot of mountains down here, guys. Magda is fun to fly, but kind of like on Daymar, the game and the stage that it's at right now, some of the boulders that you'll find, they end up buried in the sides of these mountains, or they just don't read. So it can be frustrating. So, but yeah, very pretty place to fly around. And I know there's a lot of orgs that come out here, and they set up their own kind of capture the flag kind of games where they'll land, a couple of ships and a couple of vehicles, kilometers apart, and then they'll get out on foot and shoot at each other. I actually came over here to mine one day when a couple of organizations were doing that, and there must have been 30 people down here, which was kind of fun. I got lucky, nobody shot at me. Yeah, look at there. I did not plan that. Like I said, with Hurston, some of these moons you'll find a lot to mine. Let's see if we can get you to blink for us. Come on. There we go. Hate having to get that close. Yeah. 3% aluminum. What do you think, guys? Should I mine that? Probably make a couple of hundred UEC if I filled up with it. Seems like I did see one over here. Okay. Oh, and there's like 3 or 4 more behind me. Oh, okay. Yeah, so, you know, Hurston system has some decent moons. Hopefully in future iterations of the game, they're going to put better places or closer places to actually sell the minerals. So, and this is what I was talking about before. All right, so you see I'm marking it. Can you see it? There it is, right in front of you. See it? Right there. Right there. There it is. Buried. Yeah. Probably need an Orion to get that out of the ground. So we'll check one more before we take off out of here. How about that? It's always fun when that happens. So let's take a quick look down here. I've been told in 3.5 these issues with the mining radar and the rocks blinking. From what CIG is saying, they have addressed these issues and fixed it. I don't know. We'll see. Because it is really frustrating when you are having to do that. But I'm not a computer guy, so I don't know how hard it is to make these things actually functional. It's funny that on some of the moons they are highly functional in the asteroid belt, highly functional. Here, not so much. All right, let's see if we can find one more. It's the aluminum day. So if I owned a factory that made beer cans, I'd be rolling in dough right now. All right, guys. Well, like I said, I was going to make this a conglomeration of moons in one video because I don't want to bore you with just watching me mine. You've seen the basics of mining from my other videos, and I really don't have anything else that I can add for that. If you're watching these videos for the first time and you're just getting into mining, go back and watch some of the earlier ones. So what I'm going to do now is I am going to head back to Hurston, and we'll get off the Prospector, and I'll show you guys, the final thing I'll do is I'll show you guys where you need to go to actually sell your minerals. So let's head out of here and head to Hurston. Okay, so this is what makes Hurston kind of a pain to mine at. We've arrived at Hurston, we've got off the elevator from our hangar, and now you have to sell your goods. Unlike a lot of other locations, this one takes some time, and for the sake of this, I'll probably end up speeding up the video at some point. But this is how you're going to have to go and sell your stuff. You have to go all the way down to the trains and head to the Metro Center. So, and what you're looking for over there, oh, that's funny. What you're looking for over at the Metro Center is the admin office. Wow, there's a lot of people here. So we're going to board the train. We're going to head over to the Metro Center, and once we get off the train, I will show you guys where to go and which computer screens to use to sell your stuff. So next portion of the video, you don't want to see the whole train ride, so the next portion of the video I'll fast forward for you guys. Okay, so we're off the train, and now we're going to go to the admin office. Now, the admin office isn't too hard to find. Once you get off the train, you're just going to kind of head back. If you've ever spawned over here at Hurston, you'll know where the residences are, and that's where you're going to head, is to the residences.
Finally ready to take the plunge on a used ship? Swing by the New Deal shipyard.
And like I said,
the
the moons here are really fun to mine. The biggest problem is coming all the way back to Hurston and selling your minerals. So if you're following along, there's the sign for the admin office. You're going to come down here and pray that the game doesn't crash on you. There's the admin office. When you walk through the door, you'll see these 3 terminals over here. Those are for trade goods. These 2 terminals, when you come through the door to the left, are actually the terminals to sell mining stuff. Alright, so, and there you go. So that's where you want to be. Alright, so that's going to do it for this. I hope everybody enjoyed it. And again, if you are a fan of mining, I hope you appreciate the videos that I've put up for you guys. I'd like to thank the members of my family for helping out, and
Swing by the New Deal shipyard for exciting deals on all your favorite brands.
the organization I belong to is Carrier Strike Group 3. Those guys have been instrumental in helping me make these videos, and so we look forward to making more for you in the future. There are links down below for spaceforgames.com if you want to read some really in-depth stuff about mining. Also, Carrier Strike Group 3, the web link is down there if you'd like to come check us out, or if you're thinking about joining an organization, come take a look at us. You won't be disappointed, guys. All right, well, until next time, I'll see you in the verse.